Okay, so now like we have an instance, in that instance we have Nginx. With that we have deployed one website, like Finexo is the website we have, and I have I'm going to convert that instance into one AMI. So with that, if we want similar kind of instances, easy to provision. Then I'm going to actions, instance under templates. I'm creating an image. I'm creating an image. Finexo image I'm giving with Nginx and Finexo app we have, and 10 GB I have given for the Ubuntu 10 GB. Then we can give the tags also optionally. I'm going to create that Finexo app. Sorry, I'm converted into AMI. Once I convert it into AMI, like I need to wait till that AMI need to be created. Meanwhile, I'm going to create a load balancer. What is the purpose of the load balancer is always load balancer will take the user request and redirect the traffic to the healthy instance. Okay, always it will redirect to the healthy instance. And we have like a ELB, we can call this as elastic load balancer, but we don't have any special service for this. This is part of EC2 itself. And coming to the ELB, what are the types of load balancers we have is four types of load balancers. One is classic load balancer. Second one is network load balancer. Third one is application load balancer. And the fourth one is gateway load balancer. So these are all the four types of load balancers. Now, while converting that into AMI, my system got restart also. That's the reason I may lost putty connection. Okay, so then the classic load balancer is the old load balancer. Anyhow, now it is not supported. In the initial days, we used to have the classic VPC. That means everyone won't get a default VPC in the early days. That means a custom or VPC is an optional feature in the early days of AWS. Means everyone will get by default the classic VPC. Okay, but now what happening is in every account, every region, we are getting by default VPC we are getting. But if you have a classic VPC network and your instances are in that classic VPC, we need to use the classic load balancer. But as of now, today, classic load balancer is not supported. That is the reason AWS has given the option to migrate from the classic VPC to everyone already migrated to their VPCs already. That is the reason they have stopped classic load balancer. In which scenario you are going to use the classic load balancer? If you have your instances in the classic VPC network, then we need to use. But that use case now it's not at all possible because there is no VPC concept. Classic VPC concept is not there. Everyone will get the default VPC itself. Everyone are getting default VPC itself. We are getting. Okay. So then, like what is the network load balancer? It's mandatory interview question. You should able to explain network versus application load balancers. Okay. So mostly among these two, we need to suggest the best load balancer to this. So you have a website. Okay. So we are going to use HTTP and HTTPS. These ports we are going to use. Then we have a serverless application. Then we are going to use Lambda. Okay. Then I want to do path-based routing or URL-based routing. Okay. So then name-based virtual hosting. So we have the name-based virtual hosting. Okay. So these all the use cases, and I need to integrate with AD kind of thing or user authorizations using Cognition. And I want to deploy with the WAF, web application firewall for my applications. These all the use cases. we need to go for application load balancer. Application load balancer supports HTTP and HTTPS, and at the ISO OSA model, it's a layer 7 protocol. It's a layer 7 protocol, and for HTTP and HTTPS, it is going to support, and even application load balancer supports serverless also. Okay, so that means how my application is running on Lambda. Application load balancer will support this, and path-based routing and URL-based routing also is possible. What is the concept of the path-based routing? I'll tell one example. So now my domain is google.com. Okay, so then if I type my path is google.com/web, I want to redirect to one set of target groups. So that means domain is same, but path is different. If I want to type google.com/images, I want to redirect to some set of servers. Okay, so it depends upon the path of the application. I want to redirect the backend. The backend servers are different. That means my web search servers are different. Okay, my image delivery servers are different. Then in this use case, how many number of server sets we have? Two sets of applications we have. But domain is, what is the domain? What is the domain name in this?
Domain name in this. Google.com.
Google.com. Then what is the meaning of path? Google.com/web is one path, /images is another path. These kind of like path-based routing is supported by which type of load balancer? It is supported by which type of load balancer? Application load balancer. Application load balancer works at layer 7 and supports web-based kind of thing, HTTP, HTTPS. And the backend, my targets are not only EC2 instances or autoscaling. Okay, so we can have the Lambda also. Then path-based routing or URL-based also. What is the depends upon the URL, and the query strings of the URL also we can redirect. And name-based virtual hosting is nothing but have two domains. That means google.com. I want to redirect to my web servers. If it is youtube.com, I want to redirect to like maybe that videos kind of streaming. So what is the meaning of name-based virtual hosting is I don't have single domain. How many domains I have? Have two hosts or two domains I have. And according to that, I want to redirect the traffic. Then in that use case, I'm going to use, name-based virtual hosting. And what is the concept of user authorization is I have my authentication authorization normally in the applications we are going to use Active Directory. Say suppose you join in a company, will have your email ID, right? Maybe wipro.com, cognizant.com, like this will have the domain. Okay, then the user authentication authorization will happen with the AD level. But here in this use case, how my application in the AWS, we have Cognito is the service. That means my application need to do authorizations also at the load balancer. Then I need to use application load balancer. And we have web application firewall. What web application firewall is protects is it protects application from the like maybe SQL injections or XML from the hackers. They're trying to use SQL injections or bot protection. A lot of bots are trying to access my website. So this kind of I want to filter some traffic from geolocation. Say suppose I don't want to allow some traffic from some countries. Okay, so I don't want traffic from Israel. I don't want traffic from China or maybe Russia. So these countries also geolocation wise, I want to restrict the traffics. All these are possible with web application firewall. With which load balancer we can integrate that web application firewall also is application load balancer. Application load balancer. Coming back to network load balancer. Network load balancer supports at layer 4. Okay, application load balancer works at what layer? It
7.
works at layer 7. That is like a layer 7. This is the application load balancer works at the layer 4. Okay, then second thing is it's not supports web-based like HTTP, HTTPS. It supports at okay, so TCP and UDP. I have two database servers, two Active Directory kind of servers, or two DNS servers. Normally in that we can't use application level, like we can't use. So now here we need to use TCP or UDP level, we need to use that. Okay, but application load balancer supports only web itself. Third one is it won't support path-based routing, Lambda as the targets. Okay, path-based routing or URL-based routing. Okay, virtual hosting, name-based virtual hosting is not supported by network load balancer. If you have these all the requirements, then in that use case, we need to go for application load balancer. Okay, so application load balancer, but one of the advantage of network load balancer is network load balancer, okay, can handle millions of requests. So it's going to handle the millions of requests per second, even if you got also. Application load balancer may not handle that kind of load, but network load balancer can handle. Okay, network load balancer target can be application load balancer also. That means if you have the millions of requests are coming per second also for your website, first I'm going to keep a network load balancer. Back into that, I'm going to keep multiple application load balancers also we can design. But that application should be very vast kind of application. Which load balancer will handle millions kind of like requests. Millions of requests can be handled by which load balancer?
Network load balancer.
Network load balancer. Okay. Which target is not possible for network load balancer?
Lambda, path based, and URL based.
Lambda is not possible. But which target can be added additionally compared to application load balancer? Which target can be added? Application load balancer can be added as a target to network load balancer. But vice versa, what is the vice versa? That is not possible. That means to the application load balancer, I can't attach. To the application load balancer, I can't attach.
Network load balancer.
Network load balancer, but vice versa is possible. What is that vice versa? So the network load balancer can handle the millions of requests, and backend we can redirect those requests to
Application load balancer.
application load balancer. In which use case you are going to suggest this to the client?
When we are having millions of requests.
Yeah, millions of requests, even in seconds itself we are getting. But our application may be not that much scalable. Okay, so millions of requests may come per day itself. But Twitter or maybe those kind of apps will get millions of requests per second also. ChatGPT, these kind of things now we may get, or Google. So those things we may get it. Okay, and one more advantage to the network load balancer is we can give static front-end IP we can attach. So that means normally for the application load balancer we are getting only DNS name, but to the static we can attach one elastic IP or IP address kind of thing also we can attach to. So that I don't want to change that one. Okay, that is also possible with network load balancer. It depends upon the client requirement. We need to choose either network load balancer or application load balancer. Okay, at Route 53 level also, whenever the failover is happening, we are going to choose at the network level, network load balancer itself. At the Route 53 level also, we are going to choose the fire this itself. Network load balancer we are going to use. So definitely everyone should able to tell us like the differences between network load balancer and application load balancer. We need to tell, and that we have a new type of load balancer also we have. What is that? Gateway load balancer is the new type of load balancer. Say these are I have two not two instances. These are, so these may be two VPN or two load balancers at the hardware level load balancers. Okay, or marketplace. I have purchased a new kind of devices. All those at this level also, if you want to do the load balancing for that use case, we are going to use gateway load balancer. What are the backend targets to those is that's maybe the VPN load balancer. These kind of virtual appliances from where I have purchased those are purchased from the marketplace. Okay, so those level also I want to do the load balancing. Then I'm going to use gateway load balancer. But in the Kubernetes for your application, you tell like application load balancer mostly we are using. Okay, so which type of load balancer you need to tell? You need to tell the application load balancer. You need to tell we are using this application load balancer. Okay, so what are the advantages is path-based routing, URL-based routing. Okay, so then WAF integration we can do, web application firewall integration, Cognito kind of thing, Lambda as the targets, because even in the serverless also, we are going to use application load balancer. Okay, so in which load balancer you can configure static IP?
Network.
Network load
Gateway.
balancer we are going
Gateway
to
load
get.
balancer.
Okay, and TCP UDP level which load balancer will support?
Application load balancer.
TCP UDP level, no. TCP UDP level is supported by network load balancer. HTTP HTTPS level is supported by
Yeah,
application load balancer. Okay, the Cognito integration is supported by application load balancer itself. Path-based routing, URL-based routing, all these also is there. Okay, so then here try to understand if I come to the load balancer, any of the load balancer in the world, okay, will have the similar kind of terminologies. Okay, so what is the load balancer? Say load balancer will have the like uh, will take the user request. That means it's act as an endpoint to the users and it's going to redirect the traffic to the backend target groups. Okay, so the backend target groups are nothing but these may be like we can have the instances, or we can use directly those IP address, or we can use even auto scaling groups also we can attach, or now we can attach even Lambda also, or we can use EKS or ECS kind of services also if we are microservice kind of thing. These all the targets we can attach. And one more finally we can attach. One more thing is application load balancer also can be attached to as a target to application load balancer also can be attached as a target to the network load balancer. Then if you tell me what is the meaning of target groups? What is the meaning of target groups? So similar kind of servers in the previous use case, we discussed here we have slash web need to go to one target group that is having web search related servers, and slash images need to redirect to say in the above use case, how many target groups we required? How many target groups we required? In the above use case, so how many target groups we required here
Which one?
in this use case?
One,
No,
two, right? Two website images,
two, because one for web, one for
images.
image search, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so what is your understanding of target group? Similar kind of, so suppose I may have in that one target group, I may have 40 applications. Okay, for image I may have 20 servers. Okay, it's not mandatory, both should be required 40, that depends. And instead of using instances, what is the best practice in that like a target group? We can choose the auto scaling also. Okay, so in that, how many AMIs you are going to create in this use case?
Only one.
So better two AMIs, one for web search related, app related one, and second one is,
Images.
okay, so what is the concept of the target group is a set of servers. In our use case, that's maybe an EC2 or IP address or maybe Lambda functions, or we can have the Kubernetes related or ECS, EKS, or that's maybe auto scaling group also. And who is going to redirect the traffic to whom? Load balancer will redirect the traffic to, load balancer is going to redirect the traffic to, load balancer will redirect the traffic to these target groups. Okay, load balancer is going to be, and in the target groups, what are the targets are supported? What are the targets are supported? That's maybe instances or IP address or auto scaling groups, Lambda or ECS, EKS kind of workloads, or application load balancer also can be the target to network load balancer. So now here the user request comes to directly to the target group or load balancer. User request comes to where that user request is coming.
The user request is coming
To the load balancer,
Then
and
the
load balancer will
balancer.
redirect
Load
to the target group, and in the
Instance
middle we
target
have one
group.
more that is called as a listener. Okay, in the listener, okay, so it's going to check like the connection between the load balancer, and it's going to check the health of the targets. Okay, so what is going to happen in the load balancing is, if the health of the load balancer is not correct, then it is not going to redirect the user traffic to that target. But I have 40 in my web like related target group. Who is going to check the like heartbeat, or who is going to check the health of the those 40 instances? Who is checking? Who is checking?
Checking.
listener.
Yeah, the listener is nothing but it's
The
going to
listener
check
is nothing but is going to check
the
the
the the,
the
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 port
the,
number,
the port number,
protocol, the path, all these we are going to configure. In that, whether that listener is listening or not, port number is listening or not, protocol, okay, path is in that path the application is working or not, okay, it's keep on checking. And if that is not like listening properly, then what load balancer will do is that load balancer will remove that from the load balancing, means it doesn't redirect the user traffic to that target. Okay, to the target, because you have 40 servers or 100 servers, each and every time, each and every second, you can't check that settings, right? On behalf of us, who is going to check that? On behalf of us, who is going to check that?
who is going to check that?
Listener will
The
check.
ELB is going to
ELB
be
is going to
periodically
be
check the health
periodically
of the
check the health of
targets
the target
using the port number, protocol, path we have specified.
path we
And
have
if the
specified.
target or if that failed that check, then that listener is going, sorry, that target is removed from the load balancing. Okay, it's going to be removed from the load balancing. And even at the load balancer level also, we need to open a security group. Okay, so that means at the load balancer level also will have the security group, and at the target level also will have the security groups. Okay, and what is the scope of the load balancers in AWS is that scope is only region level itself. That means you can keep at the multiple zone level, you can keep, okay, but it supports only at the region level. If we want multi-region, then we need to go for, if we want multi-region, then we need to go for Route 53 level itself is possible. Okay, but AWS level load balancers are supporting at the region level. Okay, so then here we have the rules. Like in the listener, we have the rules again, depends upon that it's going to check. And the health check also that is going to check the health check. And here we have one more small feature is there, load balancing and sticky sessions. So what is the concept of sticky session is, okay, so like a user session is going to be already is we connected to the application. Maybe I'll tell one example. You are connected to Flipkart, you connected to one instance. Okay, but in the middle, you lost the session. Again, if the user disconnects, what load balancer will do? What load balancer will do? It redirects to new server also, there may be chance. At that moment, user session is going to be lost. But if I enable sticky session, what is going to happen? If I enable the sticky session, what is going to happen?
Enable the sticky session, what is going to happen?
The user can access
The user
the
request is
instance
going to be
where he left.
redirected to
It's going to be
Where he left.
the user request is going to be redirected to the same server itself. Okay, so if I enable the sticky session, the user based on the client cookie, okay, so that server like here load balancing is working or sticky session is working if I enable sticky session. If I enable sticky session in the load balancer, it is going to
balancer. It is going to
redirect the traffic to the same
redirect
server.
the traffic to the same server.
I have a silly question.
Oh, silly question.
Yeah.
Actually, when you're trying to order something from the Flipkart, there are, I mean, it have available 100 quantity. So, and it was crashed in between them. And again, like when I'm connecting to the same server, is it updated with the quantity? I'm just
Yeah, that all the sessions, whatever you have in the cart, all those details you are getting, right?
okay.
If that is a new session, again, user need to start from scratch. Their user experience may be bad.
Okay.
That is the reason if the application want a sticky kind of thing or user persistency, if they want based on the cookies and sticky session, what user, like what load balancer is doing, it is not redirecting to the new server. Okay, as per the load balancing, it may be need to redirect to other server. But if I enable sticky session, load balancing is not working. It is redirecting to
The same server.
same server based on the user cookies. On the client side cookies, based on that, it is going to take the session. Okay. Then here, what are the algorithms have been used? Okay, we'll discuss. So now assume I have one load balancer and 4 servers. Okay, I have the 4 servers. Now, by default, okay, what is the like algorithm used by application load balancer is, it is going to use by default, it's a round robin algorithm. What is the concept of the round robin algorithm is, it is going to distribute the traffic uh, like in a evenly it is distributing. That means I have 4 servers, assume user 1 goes to instance 1, user 2 instance 2, user 3 instance 3, user 4 instance 4. Then can you tell me user 5? user 5 goes to
Server 1.
Goes to
server 1 because we have four
Server
servers
server
only
1
there.
because we have 4 servers only there.
Okay, sixth user request goes to
Sixth user request goes to
Second server.
session server. Like previously, application load balancer
previously
used to support
application load
the
balancer
algorithm is
used to support the algorithm
round
is
robin algorithm.
round
This
robin
algorithm is called
algorithm.
as
This algorithm is called as
round robin algorithm, evenly
robin
distribute the
algorithm.
traffic.
Evenly distribute
But
the traffic.
recently,
But
application load
recently,
balancer has
application load
supported
balancer has
new type
supported
of load balancer
new type
also,
of load
that is
balancer
called
also,
as
that is called as
least outstanding
least
request.
outstanding request.
Which instance having less
Instance
connections
having less connections
to that instance, the user traffic is going to be
user traffic is
redirected.
going to be redirected.
Okay, so then can you tell me which algorithms have been
Which
used by the
algorithms have been
application load
used by the
balancer?
application load balancer?
One is round robin,
Round
second one
robin.
is
Second one is
least outstanding request.
outstanding request.
So these two are supported by
Two are supported by
application load balancer.
application load balancer.
Okay, so whereas
Okay.
NLB
Whereas
supports,
NLB supports
it's a hash-based
it's a
kind of
hash-based
algorithm.
kind of
Okay,
algorithm.
so that
Okay.
is
That is
flow hash
low hash
algorithm. Okay, so in the flow hash
in the flow
algorithm,
hash algorithm,
like it is based on the
like it is
source
based on the
IP,
source IP,
source port number,
source port number,
destination IP,
destination IP,
destination port,
destination
and
port,
protocol,
and protocol.
it is going to
It
connect.
is going to connect.
Okay, it is going to connect, say here, the based on the 5
Based on the
settings.
5 settings.
So that is flow
That
hash
is
algorithm.
flow hash algorithm.
Okay, so depends
Okay.
upon
So
the
depends upon
source
the
IP, source
source
port,
IP,
destination
port,
IP,
destination IP,
destination port number.
destination port
Okay,
number.
so it's
Okay.
going to
So
support.
it's going to support.
Okay, but here
But
this
here
application load
this
balancer is
application
simple.
load balancer is simple.
Okay, so now the flow of the
So the flow of
unique
the
connection is identified
connection is identified
based on the source IP
based on
address,
the source
source
IP
port
address,
number,
source port
destination
number,
IP address,
destination IP
destination
address,
port, and
destination port,
protocol.
and protocol.
It is going to calculate
It
one
is going to
hash
calculate
value,
one hash value,
depends upon those 5
depends upon those 5
combinations,
combinations,
and depends upon
and
that it is going
depends
to
upon that it is
redirect
going
to
to
the
redirect
server.
to the server.
Your voice is because I think somebody mic is on. So
Yeah, Imran, can you mute yourself? Okay, so now here by default this sticky session will come with the network load balancer because client IP all those will come, but application load balancer sticky sessions are supported by based on the cookies of the client cookies, it is going to redirect. Okay, so creation wise, we don't see much differences, almost same steps. I'll come to again this AWS. We'll create those. Okay, so as of now I have one instance, and I'll check that instance is running or not. Yeah, that instance is running. I can create one more instance also. I can create. So I'll launch one more instance. The second server. So this I'm using already our AMI. The Pinexo image I'm using. The T2 micro. I can use the same key pair. So I think Ubuntu new key pair I have given, and I'm using the same network also. and I have opened the 80 port also I have opened. Ten GB, that AMI wise itself we got the 10 GB. Okay, so then these two instances manually I'm going to keep in the target group. I'm going to keep that as target group. Okay, my second instance also let it create. Meanwhile, what I'm doing is here we have the target group. Similar kind of applications, I can group them in the target group. Okay, so then here I'm going to use the create a target group. Okay, so now what are the targets we can use is either instances, IP address, Lambda functions, application load balancers, but even still we can use EKS or ECS also. That's at the Kubernetes level we'll discuss. Okay, so as of now we are going to keep instances. Okay, and the target group name, I'll give Finexo target or Finexo app, and the protocol I'm using HTTP or which protocol TCP, all that depends upon your application. You can choose. If I use the HTTP, definitely I need to use my network load balancer, application load balancer I need to use, and IP address and which VPC you want, all those also we are going to choose. Then health check, I'm going to check on this HTTP. Okay, my website is not in the root. Okay, I'm going to check in the Finexo. I'm going to check in the Finexo, my application is listening or not. If I check only slash, what is the meaning? If I check slash, what is that meaning? That Nginx is working or not, I can check it. Okay, but there is no guarantee my application is listening. That is the reason I given the path is Finexo. Even we can configure the health checks also. We'll see. Then here I'm. So as of now we are creating load balancer or target groups. So we are creating the target groups. Here among these you can choose the instances. You can choose the instances, port numbers. Okay, I'm adding them to the targets. Okay, create the target group. Then what I need to do is I need to create a load balancer here. I need to create the load balancer. Now I'm going to create a load balancer. While creating the load balancer, you can use application level, network level, gateway level, and if you want to still the search, then here we have the classic load balancer, but that is purely, it's a previous generation or old generation load balancer. Okay, so then in this, I'm going to use application load balancer I'm creating. I'm going to use the application load balancer I'm going to use. I can give the name. Finexo, and here we can choose for the internet facing or internal, like maybe for the intranet base also we can choose. As of now, I'm going to use internet facing. Okay, then here we have IPv4 we are going to use, and networking, subnets, all these also we need to choose. Okay, but as of now we have only one subnet mostly. That is the reason we are getting this. But we can choose multiple also. And by default, this default is not a best practice. Okay, so recent one you choose. In the recent one, we'll confirm whether we have given 80 port also. With this default, we are not getting that 80. And here the rule is, if the user comes with 80, okay, to where I'm redirecting is to my Finexo app, I'm going to redirect. A simple listener I'm configuring. If the user comes with the HTTP protocol and using the port 80, to which like target group I'm redirecting, to Finexo I'm going to redirect. To the Finexo I'm going to redirect. Okay, so that's kind of load balancing, and this we have chosen the application load balancer will support WAF also. Okay, so which type of web application firewall we want, and CloudFront with WAF or only WAF also, global accelerator, these all supported by application load balancer. Okay, now I'm going to create a load balancer here. So here what is the requirement is, if you use internet facing, is mandatory they have specified two load balancers are, sorry, two subnets are required. Then as of now, I think we have only one subnet here. I'll create one more subnet fastly. These all while practicing, you use custom subnets only. I'm using here 1B, don't keep in the same region. Then cider block I need to give. So 172.31./20. That address it is telling is already taken mostly. /32 I have given here. Okay, so then this is the 1B subnet, and auto assign IP addresses also is one of the. Here we have two subnets we got. Security group, listener settings. Now I'm creating the load balancer. If I create a load balancer, what I will get is, I'll get one load balancer DNS name. Okay, so now here we are getting this DNS name. This DNS record, can you tell me where you need to add here? You need to add this one in the Route 53 alias, you need to add it. In the alias, like we need to choose this application load balancer, and this one we need to choose. Okay, then what is going to happen? User request goes to, if the domain name, if the user request goes, it's going to redirect to, it is going to redirect to this target group. Okay, in the target group, how many instances we have? Two instances. So now we need to check the target group health also. Like those should be healthy. Okay, but as of now, two are in unused kind of state. Okay, so those two also should be healthy state we required. Okay, target registration should be successful for us. Okay, then this endpoint URL I'm going to access for my website. If the user request comes, to which it need to redirect is to that servers it need to redirect. Okay, that health should be comes to as a healthy state itself. Okay, it need to redirect to that. Okay, this will like need to register. Okay, so this is the instance, but we shouldn't type the instance. We need to hit through. We need to hit through that load balancer level. We need to hit. So here we have the load balancer. Still the state is provisioning. It need to comes to available. Then once we click on that DNS name, but in the real time we don't directly hit that DNS name. will attach to route 53. Then the domain name will redirect to this server, sorry, this load balancer it is redirecting. Then based on the listener, and it's going to redirect to the target group. So still this is in the provisioning state. Yeah. So now it's came to active state. Now this is not our instance. This is the load balancer DNS name. If this is not working, we need to go to that listener settings, target group settings, and in the target groups, all should be available as a healthy state. Then only load balancer will redirect the traffic to that servers. And we need to check the load balancer security groups also, whether that 80 port or 443 ports have been open or not also we need to verify. So what is the security group rule we have given here? 12, right? As of now, here only one rule is there. That is also RDP. Definitely we need to open. HTTP need to be open here. So now in this, that only that the Nginx is there. Sorry, it's a small typo. Now Finexo. That website is working. Okay. So now have two instances. Load balancer will take the decision to which it need to redirect. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I have two instances, right? I'll stop one instance. So I'll stop maybe second instance. I'm going to stop. Okay, but end users doesn't get an impact because they're not hitting that second instance directly. They're coming through. They're coming through the load balancer. Load balancer will redirect the traffic to the first instance itself. Okay, so to the first instance itself, it is going to redirect the traffic. So now that second instance is stopped, I'll go to the targets also. So now if you see here that went to unhealthy state. That instance went to unhealthy state. Okay, so still I'll access this website. I'll maybe open that in the private mode. Because sometimes that maybe comes from the cache something. Okay, so this is a certificate related issue, not related to that application. Okay, so still that website is working fine. Now what I'll do is I'll stop the second instance also. That means another instance is there, right? This instance also I'm going to stop that. So now what is the expectation? We have the two instances and both are stopped. Then we'll get some error, maybe 501, something kind of error we will get from the application. Okay, don't directly test like this because sometimes it maybe comes from the cache also. And both the instances need to be stopped. Under the load balancer level also it need to show in the health unhealthy. Then that user request is not going to be redirected to that. Okay, so that's we'll wait for some time. As of now, both the instances we have stopped. Or I may use the Chrome ones. Yeah. So now here we are getting a 504 gateway timeout. What is that meaning is? So both the instances are unhealthy kind of things. Okay. So if I power on again any of those VMs or instances, what is going to happen? Again, that will be comes into in the target group, it comes to active and it's going to take the decision to redirect to healthy state. It is going to redirect the traffic. Okay, so I have used here the application load balancer, right? Do the similar kind of setup with network load balancer also. So how to enable path-based routing, all this in the next sessions we'll discuss.